is the, would you say, newest member of the Cottage Farms team?
Yes.
Okay, but not new to the world of gardening. You're a horticulturist, master's degree, and I have in ornamental horticulture.
Yes, so pretty things, flowers, you know, ornamental shrubs and things like that.
How lovely. Well, you've brought us an absolute beauty today, and this is the one-piece Tahiti Rose of Sharon live plant. Now, this really, you were telling me before the show, is a hibiscus.
Right, we call it Rose of Sharon, but it's not a rose, it's actually hibiscus. So you think of hibiscus in tropical areas. If you go to Florida or the islands, the beautiful tropical hibiscus blooming, this is a hibiscus that's actually hardy in our area. So you can get this shrub blooming in your yard in Iowa, in Pennsylvania, you know, in Minnesota, and it gives you a tropical feel, really beautiful flowers.
And as a perennial, will come back year after year,
It will come back year after year, totally hardy.
I have to tell you too, this right here, it's just exotically beautiful, which a lot of times we think we can't do, but here you can. Let me explain too that you are getting one 6-inch live plant in a pot. It's a sale price of $25.98. I feel like that's stealing. It's the first day presented at the sale price, and the sale price is gone at the end of the day. Is this what it looks like when it arrives?
So it's a sizable plant. So
look at that.
This is the size plant you'll be getting. So that's
it's very established.
Yeah, it is. You know, that's good and healthy. And I would say by the end of the summer, this plant will be about this big.
You're kidding. So from this to this in a summer?
In ideal conditions, if you treat it well, yes. So you should have this beautiful display this year.
So we get this beautiful established home. What do we need to do first?
Well, when you get it, take it out of the box right away.
Okay.
And then make sure it hasn't dried out during traveling, so give it a good drink. And then, you know when you're in a dark movie theater and you come out in the afternoon into the bright sun, you're so blinded?
Yes.
That's what a plant will feel like when it comes out of the box.
Oh.
So you want to give it a few days in bright light, but not direct sunlight. So let it get used to the light again, and then you can plant it in the ground.
What a great analogy. I never
you.
thought about that before. That makes perfect sense, though.
Right?
And
it's
so,
bright.
as we kind of acclimate it to the bright light of outside, we want to make sure where we plant it on our property is full sun, part sun. What is your recommendation?
Full sun to part sun. So 4 to 6 hours of sun would be great. It does get sizable. It gets about 8 feet tall.
Okay.
So
wow.
It's the largest plant we have today. And I would plant it towards the back of your border.
Okay.
So you could plant a single plant, or you could do an entire hedge and have this beautiful tropical looking hedge. Or you could plant it in containers. You can see the one we have here looks beautiful in containers. Or plant them along a pathway, plant 2 lines along a pathway. We call it an allée if you want to be fancy, and just have these beautiful flowers along the walkway going into your house. So
gorgeous.
So many uses for it.
Is it okay if I live in an area where the ground freezes? What's your recommendation there?
Yes, so it's hardy to zone 5, so that's -10 degrees. If you don't know your hardiness zone, it's easy to find. Just look it up on the United States Department of Agriculture site.
Okay.
So they're perfectly hardy in those areas. If you're kind of borderline, give it a lot of mulch in the fall and kind of protect the roots. If you keep it in your container, you can first of all, plant it in the ground in the fall. Fall's a good time for planting. If you have a mulch pile, kind of heal it in your mulch pile, or if you have a garage that doesn't freeze, bring it inside so that it stays a little warmer inside.
Okay, and I see these on our screen, and we do have, some of the blooms are simulated just so that you can see what it'll look like when it's in full bloom at your home. But when we show the images of the color and the vibrancy, you know, hibiscus has such a tender petal to it, but I feel like it really loves that sun. So I think when I get plants at home, sometimes I worry like, oh, is this too much for it? Throughout the season, we want folks at home to be completely comfortable to, like you said, line their walkways, put this into the sunshine when you get it, because look at the show that we're getting when we do. It's beautiful. And when it comes to feeding our plants, I know that our fertilizer has sold out, but we do need to also feed our Rose of Sharon / hibiscus.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and remember, when you grow something in a container, it probably needs a little more fertilizer than if you're growing it in the ground, because there's only a certain amount of soil in a container, and it eats that fertilizer pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So fertilizing in a container is good. I'd say fertilize probably 2 or 3 weeks after you plant, either in the container or in the ground, and then maybe every 2 or 3 weeks after that until about September 1st.
Yeah.
And then back off at that point.
And think about it too, you go from this is the plant that you're going to receive, to this, and you said in the proper conditions, in a summer. That's a lot of blooms. I mean, do we have to deadhead them at all, or what's the best care once they start to disappear a little bit?
No, we don't have to deadhead them. They actually just fall off. So when the flower is, we call it spent, it's tired, it just falls off. The flowers only last a day or two, but there are so many buds coming, you think it's blooming all the time. So flowers will fall off, but there's so many buds coming that it's always in bloom. And it really fills in a niche in the summer because it's blooming when a lot of other shrubs are not blooming.
Isn't it beautiful? And my question for you too is, can I plant it with other things around it, or should it be kind of on its own?
You can plant other things around it. You can underplant it with things that like a little bit of shade, things that catch up the colors. Lavender, you could probably put that in front of it.
Ooh.
Or just, you know, it's a beautiful plant by itself. You could plant it in the middle of your yard.
Yeah, it doesn't need a thing.
No, it doesn't.
But,
it
but
holds
if
its
I
own.
have, sometimes we hear from folks at home who have smaller gardening spaces, and that's always the question, especially with something that has this capability of getting this height, is can I put things around it too? And so it's good to know. You can still place your orders for it though, even though this is the final Cottage Farms show on QVC for the season. You can still grab it, and we have it at a sale price. It's on free shipping, of course, and that sale price is gone at the end of the day. So, Alan, welcome to theCUBE.
Thank you.
I'll be back and join you in just a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, my
Great,
friend. M89458 still available.